Okay, I want to talk about the relationship between alcohol and anxiety because I think that this drives more people's drinking than you realize. When you suffer from anxiety, it's very, very isolating and very lonely. I know I felt like that when I suffer from anxiety. That's a big part of my drinking story. Used to have really, really chronically bad panic attacks, which is an extreme form of anxiety. So I kind of lived in panic attack, anxiety, or I was asleep. And I really thought I was the only one struggling. My panic attacks developed when I was 18 because of a bad experience I had with drugs. And they went on for years, and I didn't know what was wrong with me or how to fix. And that's what changed my drinking. Up until that point, I was drinking to have fun, right? I was a teenager, that's what you did. But as soon as the panic attacks and anxiety started, it changed my relationship with alcohol. I needed to drink to feel okay. I needed to pre drink. So before I went to any kind of social situation, I needed to have at least one or two glasses of wine in me to just take the edge off. Like going into something like cold, was really, really anxiety provoking. And we call that social anxiety. And if you suffer from that, I want you to know it's extremely common. Social anxiety, the kind of fear, trepidation of being around people, of talking to people, what to say, whether they're going to like you, whether you're going to fit in. All of that provokes anxiety in lots of people. I think it's more rare for people to be able to just like glide into situations easily. A lot of people have masks. A lot of people are wearing masks where on the outside they are pretending everything's fine, and on the inside it really isn't. And lots of people are using alcohol to take the edge. And what I'm hoping in this video is that you will recognize yourself, that you will see yourself, and that you will know that you're not alone, and that alcohol is not the solution to anxiety. Using alcohol to manage anxiety is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Because, as you know, I'm sure you've experienced it, the next day, it's even worse. I mean, they didn't have this word when I was drinking. It's a new word, but anxiety, hangover plus anxiety, the worst feeling in the world, like the worst experience. And a lot of that is because of brain chemistry. Alcohol messes around with your brain chemistry. It sucks all the dopamine and serotonin, all the good, feeling good chemicals just are gone. So you don't feel good and you feel anxious. And I used to feel paranoid as well. The thing when you are trapped in this is that alcohol works in the immediate, right? When you have anxiety and you feel that rising and you have to go to something or deal with people, if you have a drink or two, within about 45 minutes, you're going to feel much calmer. And even like it would be instant with me because it would just be the relief of like alcohol was like my comfort blanket. But then what happened with, and I don't know if you had this problem, is I wasn't very good at getting the right, what you're looking for, what I was looking for was like, I want to drink. So I feel like calmer, I feel like I can deal with this, but not messy drunk, right? Not slurring my words or messy drunk. That wouldn't be good. But you would like very often I would miss that, right? I would miss the mark. I would end up sloppy drunk in a professional situation or an inappropriate situation to be a bit sloppy drunk, a bit slurring your words or a bit louder than you need, And what happens is when you get like that is you lack self-awareness. You're not aware that you're louder or like you're kind of inappropriate for the event, right? You're not self-aware. You can't read the room because you've numbed yourself. When you've numbed yourself, you can't read the room. You can't pick up on social clues or anything else that's happening because you just can't, because you've lost that ability because alcohol's taken it away. And then you wake up the next morning and it sort of comes back to you, and the shame and the self-loathing. And so it just adds, it just like it's the compound interest of awfulness. Now, if you recognize yourself, if you watch this so far, by the way, check the comments below because I have programs that are going to help you. And if you look at the link below this, you'll find a link to it. I want to tell you the things that you can do that can help. First of all, you have to understand what the problem is, okay? The problem isn't outside of you. the problem is within you. So you have to take responsibility for that. Alcohol is not a fix for anxiety. We have to stop drinking. So number one, stopping drinking, allowing your brain time to heal, allowing your body to function the way that it's meant to function. And this is going to take some time, okay? So it's longer than 30 days. It can take up to a year for your body and your brain and everything to recover. So it's hard to wait for a year to feel better. Like, who can wait for a year to feel better? So there's things that we can do here and now. These are the two things that I know will help enormously in healing your brain and lessening the impact of anxiety. Now, let me just say right out of the gate, when you're in early sobriety and you're healing and all that kind of stuff, this is where you need to have boundaries, right? Do you have to go to that social function, or do you have to go to that event? Are there just things that maybe you could say no to in the short term? Just try and reduce the pressure on yourself, right? When you stop drinking, life doesn't carry on exactly the way that it was, but without you being drunk or drinking alcohol, right? A lot is going to change. So first of all, look at where you can reduce pressure on yourself, where things could maybe change a little bit. Look at where you can do that. The two things that work really well are exercise and connection. Exercise is just the best thing you can do to take care of your mental and emotional health. And exercise actually heals your brain faster. There's lots of research that supports this. If possible, outside every morning, if you're just going for a walk. Lovely, fine. I mean, if you do more, if you are doing Ironman or whatever, or yoga, whatever, do that too. But if all you can do is go for a brisk walk for at least 30 minutes, that is going to kick off a chemical reaction in your brain that's going to start healing it. The second thing is connection. Connection with other people also creates a chemical reaction. Connection with sober people, really helpful and effective. So if you don't have anybody right now, it would be a really good time to start looking for sober community, sober groups in your local community, but maybe reconnect with friends or family or people who are supportive with you. Even if they don't understand, you don't have to tell them everything. Just being connected with people who care about your well-being, it's enormously helpful in beginning to feel better, beginning to feel steadier. Now, when I stopped drinking, my anxiety was still there. It decreased. It did decrease over time, and I've been free of it for decades now. And I want you to know that that is possible for you. The other thing that I do recommend is EFT, which is the tapping. I teach that in some of my programs. That is also an instant thing. It's like instant. You can do it now. You can go to the toilets if you're at a public event, and you can do a quick round of tapping. That also really helps. But nothing is going to help more than finally putting down alcohol and committing to the process of being sober. Because living with anxiety is no way to live. It is no way to live. It's not a life, it's an existence. And too many people struggle with this for years and years. And some people don't find a way out. And some people, it's a long time until they do find a way out. I want you to know there is a way out, that you don't have to feel this way, that anxiety is really common. More people around you are suffering from it than you actually realize. They just have their mask on. They just have their mask on. Everything's fine. It's all good. So many people are wearing masks. You don't have to do that anymore. Commit to sobriety, start using the tools, and your anxiety will eventually be a thing in the past. Make sure you're liking, following, all of that kind of stuff, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Take care.